Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hooks Gamer here. We're back with Anno 1800. We're looking at Prince Albert Island. As you can see, Margaret is trying to take it back. It ain't gonna work whatsoever. But yeah, those two guys are doing an okay job. Here in the last episode, guys, we were developing this area, you know, just to get a bit more influence points. So yeah, I haven't really figured out what we're gonna do. You know, there doesn't seem to be an item. To be quite honest, I wasn't really looking. But it seems that in flu, yeah, there isn't. But guys, if you, yeah, I don't know, if you want to maybe let me know in the comments. You know, am I correct? Am I incorrect? What's going to happen? But anyway, so this episode will be rather longer, I suppose. I think what I'm gonna do is to have a few of these guys because we really, first of all, we're paying nothing for it, and second of all, it's kind of time to have all this production really at a proper level. So let's just see, where can we have it? We could have it here potentially, but we may need more wood. So I think I'll have it here. Yeah, you can see the flickering. Anyway, let's do it here. Not an optimal. Let me do it again.
The doors are shut. Where are the proceeds?
Okay.
As always, I endure.
She endures. Ooh. I'm just realizing I'm making quite a few mistakes here. But yeah, so that should be okay. Let's have it this way. Yeah, I don't understand the flickering. The mods update the moment we launch the game, so that's not an issue, I suppose. So I don't know. Anyway, and then let's come here. Have a couple of these guys. And maybe the bigger one. Yeah, like this. Right? So yeah. They are now working away. I'm just gonna increase these and then have another one of these. Maybe not here. Okay, and then I'm gonna delete these because we'll need the space. Okay. Yeah, so that's... And look, I suppose that is giving us 260 per unit, so it's not too bad. We could have it increased a bit further as well, but that's okay. Righty-ho. Right, so what's gonna be happening, guys, is that I think we'll jump into, because there's a lot of things to do. Because did I say that all of this is gonna be engineers and then soldiers over here? I think that's what I said. And then tourists I think we'll have over here. Or maybe tourists over here. No, because we'll need palace. Huh. Will palace fit here, I wonder?
We're in the presence of a virtuoso.
No, but it would fit here. Because it doesn't kind of matter where we place the palace. Oh man, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I think I'm just gonna figure this out as I go, I suppose.
This city is a magnet for genius.
I kind of regret having these guys now, to be honest. Because how many wings we won't know until we'll expand, I suppose. But anyway, it's time as well to jump right into it. This is our island. I actually moved this here on this side. And yeah, let me just do things that we need to do, because we need to expand the Artistas, whatever, and then build the, you know, for... So we'll jump into the beach and whatever, and then we need at least 4,000 of them, right? As far as I remember. So yeah. Okay, guys, and welcome to our speed build. To be honest, it'll be more than a speed build because there's so much to do here. So you're seeing me setting up a route for jewelry from New World to well, no, King's Grove to New World, really, and I want to supply all of the islands. And then I'm, as you can see, just checking all of the worlds, really, all of the islands and its production for jewelry. So then I decided that we'll get all the items that instead of using the golds, we'll be using gold ore, right? And then I saw this guy, so this guy is then again quite OP. But yeah, that's pretty much what we'll be doing. So for the moment, that's just kind of something that I'll do, and then I'll place those items, because look, at this point we're really struggling with the influence points. Without expanding the investors, we are kind of in a deep hole, so to speak. So anyway, there you go. You can see me kind of checking things and making sure everything is okay. So you'll see a lot of it, but there will be quite a lot of building as well. Anyway, we're starting off with the palace, but we will be interrupted throughout, so don't get me started on this. But yeah, so you know, I guess it's the name of the game. We are at war with everyone bar you know, the admiral. Anyway, so I'm starting off with the palace, and I'm kind of, what I want to do is to leave a bit of space whereby if we need to extend the train tracks, that we do have means to do it, right? So that's basically what's happening here. And look, the palace is challenging in such a way that everything needs to be connected. Otherwise, if it's not, you know, you can't build it. It won't allow you. So that's challenging. So it's kind of difficult to kind of envision it and to make sure everything matches without really prior counting. So that's really what's going on here, to be quite honest. You'll see me in a moment putting all the effort, however it just won't work, and then because we don't have the move tool, if we did, we'd be able to move it, but because we don't have the move tool, we can well, we have to delete it and start again. Now it's much easier the second time around, because obviously you already have a bit of a blueprint in your head, I suppose. Anyway, I found a bit of a workaround for when you want to delete something and you know, the entire thing highlights to be deleted. So you just place an adjacent building so it stays connected. So you'll see me doing that quite often here, because otherwise, yeah, you can see now the one to the left, and that allows you to delete it and then delete whatever else you don't need. And this is it now, right? So right now we cannot move it, and this guy is stuck. So what we need to do is to just move it by one. Literally, we were one off in this build, so it's a bit of an unlucky one, but that's okay. It is what it is. Anyway, so I'm continuing with this. As you can see now, this guy goes all the way up. Look, it won't look very nice, and to be quite honest, if I had kind of thought of it before, I probably would have had palace more in the center. But look, that's the way it is, and you know, I suppose not you know, not everything can be kind of thought of and whatever. I suppose if we had everything kind of ready for us just to jump in and build it, and without the pressure of, you know, being attacked and islands taken and whatever, then it's a bit different, right? And I have done it many times before. That was always kind of my preferred way, I suppose. I never really challenged myself in the way of you know, let's jump into crazy kind of a mode, difficult mode, because, you know, there's so many things you need to think of, whatever. I guess, look, at some point, obviously, when you're gone to a point where you don't really mind even leaving things and doing it, that's completely different, and that's fine. But when you're at a stage where you want to develop things, you know, and kind of move on from what you're at right now, then it's different as well, right? Anyway, so the palace will look a bit strange because obviously it needs to go up. So you can see now on to the left, it goes all the way up towards the mountains there, but it is what it is. I think it still looks okay here by the cliff, and we can still place a couple of things in there and whatever else is to come. Again, I cannot remember everything. Anyway, so I was correct that there is an influence point with engineers, and I looked at it and I think we get like 150 at this point. So it kind of makes no sense to have that, and I probably will replace it with, once we have the zoos and whatever for the rights to remain act. But to be honest, we're so late in the game that like it makes no difference whatsoever. You know, because we can develop items anyway if we want to. You know, there's really no issue at this point. I really like that the rights to remain act, that policy, but yeah, I guess, look, it is what it is. So I opted for the additional slot for the town halls, and then this dog, I can't remember the name of it, but this dog item is just so powerful. It really is. And apart from that, I'm adding the look, the happiness and everything, and that guy adds I think attractiveness. So attractiveness now is at such level, I think we're getting like 200,000 from visitors alone. So I mean, look, the money is never an issue, never going to be anymore. But yeah, so you just saw me removing the book, which gave us 25% more income, because at this point it's kind of, I feel like, I don't want to say we're cheating, but yeah, it really feels like it's a bit of an overload, right? Because the items affect the entire island. So look, we're kind of, yeah, it's a big cheat. Anyway, that's fine. It doesn't matter at this point because we've so much money. It really makes no difference. Either way. But I suppose, you know, if I didn't go so hard on those items, we would be completely in a different situation. So I think, you know, I would like to see, if I removed all the items, what would be like, you know, in terms of the challenge, I suppose. So yeah. Anyway, so that's fine. The mail is overproducing. I was checking some of the items just really in terms of what can be got and whatever. I was actually considering at some point just to have even more of them. However, as I said, it's a bit too much. Anyway, so I'm jumping into, because as I said before, we do need more of the investors to get more influence points. So I'm jumping into the harbor area. There's really no point delaying this further because it's needed. I can tell you already that I've made a bit of a mistake here. I did not leave enough space for things, so for the moment it is okay. However, you can see me now making adjustments, let's say, but look, by the time we get to you know, the shops and whatever, we'll need to adjust even further, right? Or the shopping centers, whatever they're called, I can't remember. But yeah, that's basically what's going on. And then I'm placing more of them just to kind of fill this entire area, and that'll be finished off, and it'll actually give us quite a lot of points as well. So it's really kind of a needed boost at this point. But yeah, I really cannot wait for the Manola to reach the required amount, and then we can go ahead and have the what's it called again? You know, the stadium. So I wouldn't be myself if I did not forget some crucial buildings. However, with the palace, we've increased a range of the public services basically. So we really don't need that many of them anymore. So you can see me now kind of placing the small hospitals, the doctor's building, as you can see it's called, and that really will cover everything else. So for the moment I don't want to cramp the space too much. We're being attacked as well. These guys will be okay to fight these off, so I'm not necessarily too pressed. But obviously we need to keep an eye on it because you never know how big the attack is. So I'm just placing, yeah, you can, that's what I was just checking. I've placed the cemetery, and it reaches, although it's on the shore, it reaches the entire thing, so I'm really happy with that. Anyway, so it's time for Terminus Island. I decided not to rename it, just let's leave it the way it is after we've taken it over from Alonso. But on this island I've decided again to go with the Hacienda. For many reasons, I suppose, you know, bigger houses, and I do like that building actually. I'm really a big fan of it. Anyway, I decided as well to use those modules, you know, the Hacienda service building, so like the Hacienda Hospital, the Hacienda whatever. It's just, apart from the hospital, they all fit exactly within the square of the house. So really kind of like that. So I feel like that's the biggest reason why I go for it. The only thing obviously is that the Hacienda limits you, right, within the range. You need to grow it, so that mechanic just, I don't know if it adds anything, but look, it's fine. It's just whatever they decided on doing, I suppose. Yeah, so that's okay. I do like Hacienda otherwise. And then I forgot that we actually can blueprint it. You know, you don't have to build the buildings. You can actually blueprint it and just go from there. And as the radius grows, you can then build the buildings basically. But so then I was like, oh yeah, why didn't I think of it at some point before? But yeah, because I remember oftentimes I used to just build it and wait for it to grow and then add more buildings, whatever. But yeah, you can kind of do it in one go. So we'll need quite a few materials, obviously, so I'm just sending those ships back. As you saw just a moment ago, we're being attacked on that island. Margaret wants to take that island over. You know, for known reasons, I suppose. You know, it used to be her island. So that's pretty much it. We just need this water thing. So one would be more than enough for the entire population. You saw how efficient that building is. I think one is like 10 times already what's required for a population of like 2,000 or something like that. So it's a crazy production. I'm not quite sure why it's like that. So yeah, anyway. This island mostly be used for, you know, pretty much all of the, well, not all of them, right? Because we only have 4, but everything else, right? The camphor wax, the coconuts and whatever, you know, the citruses and things like that. Again, please do forgive me. I completely forgot about post offices. So yeah, I then just realized that at the very end that we don't have them. So I'm kind of placing them where I can, let's put it that way. You know, they're not in great spots. Yeah, I completely forgot about them. But I suppose that in the end it works out anyway, because I was able to fit, I think 2 big post offices, 2 mailboxes, and 2 of the mod offices. I don't know how you could call them. I can't remember, but they're called post offices anyway. But with the smaller radius. So anyway, I'm just checking the production right for the new world. So like the things. Yeah. So all of the production I will just move to this island, like the beef, the wool and things like that. It's just to. The main reason for it is that on Manola we'll have the kind of heavy production, right? Like the aluminium and whatever. And so I don't want to reduce the attractiveness any further with the unnecessary. Well, I don't want to say unnecessary because they are necessary. However, you know, things that can be done on another island. And because this island is something that I've decided to I guess nominate as a production island in a way of farms and things like that, you know, that's what's going to be happening here. And it's big as well, right? So there's plenty space. However, I was quite worried in terms of the space for, you know, all the crops and whatever. But I shouldn't have, because you'll see in just a moment, it's actually quite crazy. That's a bit of a, that's a bit too much, but you'll see in the moment with the items that I'm gonna get what will happen. It's almost unrealistic, but look, at this point I actually don't mind. So yeah, just building the track because, you know, for the fuel and whatever. So I don't want to be delivering anything if it can be produced on this island, which just makes sense. And now I'm just realizing that we're out of all the wood and the building materials, so I'm just gonna deliver things as they were meant to. So that's pretty much it. And then as with really everything, right, you need to keep an eye on things and make sure that you attend to all the little messages and whatever. So I couldn't really figure it out, because at this point I know that all the calamaris and the fish oil is gonna come here, so I really couldn't figure out whether I'm gonna place it on this shore or the other shore. But then I decided it's just because we have, you can see at bottom left, or on the map here, right, we're really surrounded by enemies. So I decided just to have everything on one beach, so then it's much easier to defend it, right? Because otherwise they'll be just too spread and too easy to attack. Okay, so however, I still left the little kind of pier, whatever you want to call it, that goes out just before I place all of the crops and whatever. Anyway, so I'm just checking now for items for the crops, just to make sure that we're, first of all, we're not running out, and second of all, I don't want to plaster the entire island with, you know, with things as you would have in vanilla game. Because, yeah, like, I always struggled for space in New World, and you know, I think we all did, to be quite honest. Anyway, so I'm just going with the herbs to start with, and then adding all of the items to the queue so they can be produced, so they will reduce the amount of fields required. That's pretty much it here, guys. So there isn't really much you can see what I'm doing. I'm placing all of the buildings and whatnot. I also start rerouting or adding this island, I should say, to the deliveries of goods, because obviously we need to grow the population, so the radius of the hacienda grows as well. We now have all the items, so I think we're going with 3 items to start with, but we'll end up with 2 trade unions here on this island. And you'll see, I actually cannot wait to tell you. But yeah, I was actually quite surprised to see that the lady of butterflies is not affecting the herb garden, which is quite crazy. But look, I've just added those 3 items and the requirement is only 23 fields. So I actually couldn't believe it, to be very honest with you, at the very start. But yeah, that seems to be the case. So it looks very unrealistic when it comes to the fields. Now, however, the other fields will require a bit more, so it's not too bad. Now, I also don't have all of those, so the super fertilizer or something else, I don't have that either. Anyway, we're jumping into the production of, so I decided to move fish oil here as well, you know, for the reasons mentioned before, so the attractiveness won't be affected on Manola. And I think it kind of works here a bit better, I suppose. I don't know, but I like it better on this island. It's just protecting. It'll be because it's a very easy target, right? Let's be honest. So protecting it's a bit of a challenge, but that's okay. That's for another day, I suppose. But yeah, I kind of like it. It forms this kind of an harbor, I suppose. With those buildings, and as I said, if you wanted to, you could actually place a ship there. Actually, one of the cruiser or destroyers, I suppose, could go there. The only thing is that, you know, they can't really be there on their own because they're not really, well, one anyway, but maybe 2 or 3 would be able to defend themselves. I just decided that well, I realized that we have no warehouses. What's new? But yeah, so obviously without warehouses it'll be a bit of a challenge, so I had to add them, and it at this point is where I realized that I don't really like it that much. But look, it needs to be that way, so it is what it is. Anyway, more material as always. In the end, I've added that island into the, you know, the building supply ships that we have going around, but they've a long route between all of the worlds, so it's not going to be too fast, right? So we can now upgrade to workers, and again the school and everything is filled, so I don't need to place new buildings, so that kind of worked out for us. And let's go ahead. Yeah, I'm just placing more buildings here and there. And I actually did not realize, because we had 2 items plus, I can't remember if the electric lady Angela, if she is affecting them or not. But look, see the enemies here already waiting for us. This is what I didn't like. The placement of this, but it's needed obviously, because it'll be, first of all, it'll be attacked all the time and it'll be going on fire, and second of all, obviously, you know, whatever the accidents and things. So yeah, the only thing with having everything distributed over, you know, multiple islands is that you need ships to be delivering all of it, and then at some point one ship isn't enough and you need another one and another one, and it's just, you know, like a rolling ball all the time. So that's pretty much finished, more or less. I am just adding a couple of other items here and there. Well, not items, but the buildings, the harbor master, just because they fit there very well, and I kind of like to keep things in one area as well. Anyway, so this guy, as you can see, will be delivering fish oil from Terminus to Manola, so we can continue production of the, what's it called now? You know, the fry plantains, yeah. And then it'll be needed for something else again, anyway. So because there will be so many deliveries, as you can see, these guys now waiting, and that delays the entire thing. So I just decided to jump in and have this built. Not the entire thing, but just some piers basically, and a couple of other buildings. I don't think we'll have a commuter pier, well, not the commuter pier, the tourist pier here, so the attractiveness really, I don't mind. I don't care about this island that much. But yeah, at some point we will probably complete the docklands, just for storage. Because if you have, you know, like 2 ships leaving that are not quite full because the storage isn't enough, then, you know, that causes issues, I suppose. You know, then more cycles are required, basically, for, you know, for them to rotate between the destination and the production island. Anyway, we can now jump into the Halea kitchens. So finally, you know, it's such a, I suppose, simple production, but because I've outsourced it, it takes a bit longer. Anyway, so 4, actually 2 requires so much calamari production, so it was actually surprising for me to see, I must say. But then again, because we don't have items and this island is, you know, has ferrous and has the electricity, so... Anyway, these guys are rioting. I kind of abandoned them. We're using them for their developing abilities, I suppose. So what, we need a police station, and I also realized that we need the dung here as well. So something I've placed, but it's yet to be collected, I suppose. Anyway, so I've decided that it's time for the beach, and I'm just removing some of the... I haven't actually replaced them, to be quite honest, but it's just because we'll move all the production anyway to the other island, so it makes no sense to be replacing anything. Sugar, definitely I want to outsource because there's no point having it here. But yeah, it's just such a big production, and I don't really like it. I actually like the fields themselves. For some reason I'm not a fan of producing sugar. Tobacco, I think, is one of my favorites. Cocoa. So somehow the cotton is one of my favorites as well. Right, so you see me now placing all the different little things, and I've decided that I'll go for 2 of the beaches and make them quite big. So, you know, first of all, they cover the entire island, but also it look kind of whole, right? Not just a little thing placed somewhere. And then have the tourist pier in the middle, and I also left space for the what's it called? The bus stops. For some reason, I thought that once we place it, but then, you know, we've no tourists or anything, so that's really what's going on. Anyway, so the beach will be quite big, so I'm just making holes really where the parasols will go, and a couple of other things I can't remember now. I don't think I'm placing all of them, to be quite honest, because I think it still looks nice the way it is. But this may need to be revisited at some point again. Anyway, so that's pretty much the beach, and now they are all happy, and everyone is really affected, right? So that's just Artistas. So the next point of action would be to just have a bit more of them, because even if, you know, at this point, even if we start supplying everything, we still don't have enough houses, and because we have outsourced the farmer or jornaleros to other islands, we can just have Manola just with Artistas, perhaps, or maybe just with Artistas and obreros. Anyway, so this has grown, so I've decided to add the orchids. However, you'll see me in just a moment removing it, unfortunately, because the butterfly lady, I keep forgetting her name. I'm not quite sure what's her name, but the one that produces butterflies. So butterfly lady, she is not affecting the hacienda, which is unfortunate because I do like those. Yeah, but there you go. I have the second one, so now I'm placing her, and then I'm adding ferrous, because ferrous will affect kind of other buildings as well, I suppose. But yeah, so this is where I'm looking for her. And adding a bit more here and there, whatever. But yeah, very surprising that she's not doing it. I suppose the mod isn't up to date or something with, you know, with her, or maybe she's not meant to do it. I'm not quite sure, but it does, however, say all. But I guess Hacienda is not included. So yeah. So then you can see me placing this, and I've noticed that she is affecting those buildings. So in the end I decided to delete the Hacienda because we do need butterflies, which are then needed for the coconuts and whatever. So I'm placing these. However, you'll see again in the moment that we don't need this many. It's actually crazy how little we need for the production with all the items. So I don't know if you've noticed, but it already said that we need only 2 of the modules. Whereas originally it was saying 7, so that's why I had 7 of them. But I will remove them in the end. But I actually couldn't, I was looking at it for a while and I couldn't believe that the requirement was only 2. Then again, look, the items are quite powerful, so I think one reduces the module requirement by 65, the other one by 50, and then the third one by something as well. And then the fertilizer increases it by something, but even with that, you know, it's very little. So that's pretty much it, and those 2 are producing enough butterflies for a lot of those. Let's put it that way. I think I'll end up with having, I can't remember exactly, but maybe well, maybe not 10, but close to 10, and you know, I think only 1/3 was being used, so yeah, a lot of them. And the problem with orchids will be that because the production is so efficient, as you can see, you know, only 2 modules, you know, they would need to be sold somewhere. However, we don't have anyone to sell it to, because so unless we would make friends with Jean to sell it to him, otherwise we literally cannot get rid of it. So the only way would be to either bring it to, let's say, Archie, or maybe just throw it. You know, the functionality, I actually have never used it. I've seen other guys using it, but I've never used it in a way that you know, the functionality when you schedule the deliveries, it shows you the wait for full, wait for half, or throw it overboard, basically. So I've never used those functionalities. I kind of always felt like it's a bit of a waste or something. The throw overboard, it's just because as well, what I do is, you see me, I have a dedicated ship for every single item. Very seldom, only if it's kind of not viable now with the influence points, but I would have otherwise had every single item being delivered separately, rather than you know, have one ship do the whole thing. Obviously once you get to late game, right, because early stages you need to, because it's not viable. Anyway, so I'm placing the perfume. Perfume, not my favorite either. There's a lot of those that you need to build. You know, once you get into the supply of the artisans in the old world and whatever, so you really need a lot of them. But that's not too bad. It's just because the orchids obviously aren't a problem, but the ethanol is, which is, in a vanilla game, it's such an extensive production, and you always feel like you're running out, and you always, well, not feel, you are running out. So yeah, and you there's kind of a feeling to it that there is never an end to that production, if that makes sense. Anyway, so I've decided to place a bit more fire brigades and whatever, because of yeah, I suppose we really didn't have too many on this island. And then I decided to place the Samba skull here, and the cinema will come close to this edge as well. And cinema will cover most of the island, so it's a very powerful building. And cinema in turn will allow us with I'll show you in a moment. I'll be showing that as well. The mail. But look at what's happening with this guy. So do you see his movement? I am not clicking. I clicked the the attack command basically. So right click on the ship. And look at what he's doing. Like it's just stopping and whatever. So I felt very weird about it. Yeah, I actually couldn't believe that's what's happening. If you saw it live, not in sped up mode, it's kind of such a weird interaction. He was kept wiggling and everything. I don't know what's happening. That's the only ship I've noticed doing that. Yes, it's a bit weird. It's like as if he wanted to start attacking sideways, right? From the side instead of from the front. Yes, that's basically what it was. Anyway, those guys are now artisans. I've decided, so I've looked. There's actually an item that I was looking at that eliminates the need for wine, but I did say I want all the production, so might as well just keep it. Look, the money is not an issue. The workforce is not an issue anyway on that island, so might as well. So we will get into delivery of mail because it's about time as well. To between the worlds. However, not for the moment because we need to get to a point where we can have quite a few of those points. So I think once we get the stadium and we'll be able to make the points, then we'll go for those. Yeah, and as well as that, I do want to get into a bit of a battle and maybe, destroy some of the islands and kind of harass them, especially in the old world. I have said it. It's just, I feel like there's just so much to do all the time, and yeah, there really is. Possibly if I gathered all of the ships right now and we've attacked them, we would be able to we'd be probably fine, to be quite honest, but I just think that we need extra because we have no defenses, let's be honest. So those guys need to be stationary near the islands to protect them because we have no defenses. Because if we go to war to one of those regions and then we expose ourselves here, they are able to take an island like Manola or whatever. And look, which at this point wouldn't be an issue, it's not something that I would want to happen, if that makes sense, especially if I'm offsetting the productions to other islands and things like that. Anyway, so this is a bit weird that we haven't got enough of coconut oil here, so I'll be adding more and more buildings, but I guess that's what it is. And as you can see, they're much bigger. They need 120 even with the items, so not 20 like the other ones, 23 to be exact, for the herbs and the orchid. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want a bit of a buffer as well to have a bit extra if needed, because I'm sure there'll be another building maybe needed, or it may need to be delivered elsewhere, and I'm sure there's another production using it also. So that's pretty much it, and then we can start delivering those as well. So you will see me now making the ships ready. Oh yeah, and that I didn't talk about it, but that lady, I just got someone that's affecting those orchards, not orchards, perfume producers or perfume mixers they're called. She's producing additional shampoo, and shampoo will be required obviously for tourists and engineers. So because it's already being made, I just said to myself, let's have a ship so it's already going, if you will. Anyway, so that guy is defending the island. You'll see this island going until every few minutes, really, into kind of an attack mode. So yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, we are at 4,000 Artistas, so we can start the dam. To be honest, I actually forgot about the dam. But yeah, it's not needed at this point because we'll have, you know, we have the item for the production things. Righty-ho, guys. So we've now over 4,000 Artistas. So what I want to do is to get into the cinema. Because I think how many of them are needed? Yeah, 6,000, right? So it's not really the cinema that we need. We need these things, but we do need cinema because this will give us more people. So let's just see what's needed for cinema. Okay, this and the camphor wax. Okay, so this is actually not too bad. 30 and 3 minutes. Okay, so we can actually get 2 of these. Where to put it? Over here maybe? I'm kind of not quite sure where to put this, but for the moment let's put it here. Like, we're not losing anything, to be honest, by having those things here. It's time for a normal warehouse. Okay, so we've got everything on this island. Celluloid, we just need the camphor wax, which I think, yeah, we can get easily here. I kind of have a feeling this would need to be redesigned at some point, but for the moment let's just leave it be. But yeah, let's have it here perhaps.
Come to watch.
Okay, so that's 120 as well, so that's not bad. Yeah, let's keep it like this, I suppose. I think it's not a best choice of mine, but that's okay. That'll be okay. So let's just check. So this is here, I suppose, is it? No, it's here. Yeah, so we've way more than what we need. So that's good. Let's just grab a ship. Actually, how many idle ships have we got? 1, 2, 2 ships. Yeah, we kinda need them, I suppose. I hear something being built. So not out of here, but here.
Cargo stations.
Just grab those items. Oh man.
Ship constructed.
Okay, so New World, here and here, camphor wax. Like, we know we're gonna need a lot of it. So for the moment that's okay.
Ship under attack.
Okay, and then if we'll switch... Yeah, that's this guy.
How thrilling! A renowned personage has arrived.
Maxime Renard, okay. So that was the film reel and then the cinema. Okay, so the cinema will be a bit of an issue, I suppose, unless it'll fit in one of these things. But let's just see, right? So do we need a chapel? No, we don't. That's a school. Yeah, they don't need a chapel. Okay, so that's good. We can get rid of it. And then we'll get a cinema. Okay. And then perhaps another one. Maybe if we'll remove it here, we could have it here. But the range of it is quite... yeah. Obviously this is not fulfilled just yet, but yeah, it's quite big. Okay, so... this thing is producing away. You know, the ice cream, because we'll need this for the moment. I'm gonna pause that production because we don't really need it apart from the, you know, the happiness, whatever. And for engineers, I want to have it, but not for the moment. And then let's just get the fans. Yeah, so fans will need motors and cables. Cables need to be brought over from the other place. I don't want to produce them here, to be honest. I think I should start moving some of this over here now. I kind of have a feeling I'm making a bit of a mistake here. But let's just start with... ooh, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. Okay, so if we'll have a road coming like this. Right, and then if we'll get this, okay, not too bad, I suppose. So let's have two, because we'll need two fans as well.
Ship under attack.
And I'll have fans here. Fan factory. Okay, and these guys will need one too. It's such a shame we cannot move these. Anyway, what about this? So this is one, yeah, so we'll need a lot of these guys. That's not a production that I like, to be very honest with you. It's just kind of messy. And we need to bring 1, 2 coal, so 3. Iron we don't need. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. I suppose. Okay.
Celebrate your leadership.
Yeah, okay. And this needs this. Okay, so back here we go. Let's get 3 ships.
Fleet ready?
Ship constructed.
So this guy is gonna be going
Ship
from here
constructed.
to New World with cables.
Ship constructed.
Like that. Cables. Group assigned. This one. Electric cables. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So that's fine. The other one. I wonder, however, should we have this one coming from here? Let's just see. How much coal is there? Yeah, it's a lot of coal. Okay, cool. So we're gonna have it out of here. And then keep Trelawney New World. Electra 3. And this guy, before you go, obviously needs his items. And I forgot what it was supposed to be. Coal. Oh, steel. Steel. And that's here. Oh, we don't have that much. That's interesting. Well, I mean, we do. It's just, it's not full. So that means we're not producing enough to satisfy the demand, right? Anyway, okay, so that's 3 ships. As you can see, we are just below the influence, but that's okay. What we can do now is to upgrade all these. 170. So yeah, that's all Gucci. So let's just delete some of the things we don't need. Oh yeah. No, we kind of need everything. I might have deleted something already. Yeah, I have. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, and I did this, guys. Let me just show you. So I kind of like it, you know, the way it goes up as well. Looks pretty cool. At night. With the palace in the background. Yeah. Oh, the cat. I quite like it. Okay, so that gives us a bit more points, obviously, so that's pretty cool. The only thing is that it's gonna put a bit of a pressure on us in terms of, you know, making sure that they have got everything. The gramophones and whatever, but we will revise that, let's not worry.
It's a surprise inspection.
So somehow fish. So interesting. I suppose we do have a lot of people relying on fish.
You reach the limits of the possible.
And we're taking it away as well for the other island. Okay.
What
So
brings
this
you here, Governor?
suppose... Well, I think that this will take care of itself, more or less. Ready to run, but okay. But yeah. Let's just look. So this should have given us letters. Oh, not yet. Seems to be taking a time. Oh yeah, there you go. It's now coming. Hey.
An explosion in one of your factories.
Yeah, that's okay. And there you go. It's now filling. And there you go. This is out of this item. Residences with cinema need fulfilled. I provided with regional mail and overseas. So that's pretty much everyone. And then even these guys are growing, I think.
You give me pride.
Yeah, because cinema is fulfilled almost in full.
Your harbor is under attack.
We could make it full. Yeah, that's here. That's okay.
I sweep it away like gingerbread.
This guy should... Oh, there you go.
Your harbor is under attack.
Yeah. This guy
Your island is
hadn't
under
seen
attack.
them. Oh yeah, they're coming this way. One by one, so that's okay. Yeah, we're quite okay with these guys. Butterfly. Yeah. It's kind of strange that he cannot kill this guy.
Ship under attack. Zero on target.
Yeah, I really don't like the way they're going through
Your harbor is under
the
attack.
buildings. Okay, that's fine. Nothing to see here. However, we will need a couple of these guys very quickly, okay? So let's just grab... I think I'm just gonna place them here. It's so hard to decide. But yeah, this kinda looks like a good spot. So let me have 4. That sounds like a good number. And let's upgrade this guy. Right, and then this is needed. Anyway guys, leave me to it. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, bear with me as I'll stay at it. You take care of yourselves, okay, and stay hooked.